really wanna do the work today. I don't really wanna do the work today. I don't really wanna do the work today. I don't wanna do the work today. That is not how I feel, but I can't get that Fireburner song in my head. What's up, guys? Welcome back. Yes, it's quieter on the set because you cannot hear my hair screaming for mercy anymore. I cut like 2, maybe 3 inches off of it yesterday, and I'm thriving. I'm not sure it's like a good haircut because literally I did it, and it's really hard to cut your own hair, but I cut off everything that offended me and it feels so good. Anyway, I know that we've been talking a lot about luxury beauty on my channel recently, and you guys might have been led to believe that that was the only thing that I was going to do going forward, and I didn't want to do that either. And so while I'm waiting for all of my Sephora stuff to come in the mail because I made 2 orders, I went to the drugstore. I went to Walgreens first, and they had a lot of stuff that you guys had been asking me to try for a long time. And then I went to my local Walmart, and my goodness, the selection, it was amazing. So I thought that it would be fun to revisit some of my old drugstore holy grails from like the beginning of my channel, or even before I had a channel, things that I used to totally love, and they live in my brain as like, that was such a good product. But now I would love to know if it's like still good, because I have tried so many other things at this point. So I picked up like 2 of some things and like 3 of some other things. I've tried some of them, I haven't tried others of them, and I will walk you guys through it step by step. But suffice to say, like the things that I have already tried, like I know we're gonna get a really good face of makeup out of this today. I'm gonna have some cool recommendations for you guys. And I think like if you were to buy, which I don't recommend, every single thing that I use today, it would cost you like $130 or something. You know, it's so much more crazy affordable than what we've been talking about lately. So I'm gonna move y'all in, and we will get started on answering the question as to whether or not my old drugstore holy grails still stack up, and also trying some things that I've been hearing a lot about. So let's jump in. Did I move you in? I'm not even really sure. Yeah, that's closer to my face. We've got a nice sunny day today. It's like a brisk 40 outside, I think. She says in Texan, it's 58. Okay, pop my shiny hair back here. Although these guys, wow, exposed. If this is your first video of mine, this is not breakage. I had a baby, and those just don't want to get on board. Oh, see, that's how you know. That's how you know you missed something. When you put it up and there's like, hello. And that's when I pull out the nail clippers, because I'm a professional. I didn't pick up any like sunscreens or primers or anything like that. I picked up 2 foundations. This is my holy grail. This was forever and ever the one that I like compared everything to, because it was probably the first dewy foundation that I ever used. Kiki, if you're watching this, did you recommend this? This is the L'Oreal True Match Lumi. Or did I like stumble on this on my own? I can't remember, but it was the first one that I ever used that I didn't powder, and I was like, whoa. I had no idea makeup could do that and my skin could still look like skin, kind of thing. And it does have a good amount of coverage, because I have not always had okay skin. There's one fatal flaw that I noticed after I bought this, and then I went to Walmart and I was looking at them closely to make sure that I had gotten the right shade, because they had a larger selection. I don't know if y'all can read that because it's so bright. I mean, they advertise it right there on the front. It says octinoxate sunscreen, broad spectrum SPF 20. My skin is pretty sensitive to octinoxate. This is so pretty. I wore it like all day yesterday, and I love the way that it looks, but it just stinks because I can't wear something like that every single day. Like I would love to be able to wear, what is this, like a $10 or $12 foundation like every single day. But I also remembered just when I was hop, skipping, jumping through my subscriptions tab one day, you know, they were like auto playing or something. I like overheard Alana Davison being like, I lost all my makeup while traveling or something like that. She went to the drugstore, tried to re-up on a few things, and she ended up picking up this, if memory serves. So this is the Age Perfect Radiant Serum Foundation sunscreen. It is still a sunscreen from L'Oreal, but it is, I checked the back this time, homosalate, octisalate, and octocrylene, so no octinoxate. The first thing that I want to do though is like add a little bit of primey to my face. And this is not a drugstore product. This is, wait a second, do I have a drugstore version of this? I can't remember, but this is the Olivia Palermo Prime Time. I'm just gonna do this to like do up my skin a little bit first. Did my skincare a while ago. I got this in the shade Ivory 10, and I have no idea if that's the right color, but we're about to find out. Oh my gosh, that's right. I washed all my brushes. Where are they? There they are. Oh my gosh, you guys. I was just noticing that all of my makeup was going on so gross, you know? It was just like not blending, and it was everything that I tried, and so it was obviously not the makeup. And so I washed all my brushes. I was like, yeah, it's time. And so this is just gonna be a pleasure. Wow! Wow! That's some coverage. Oh my goodness. I will say too, when you're shopping drugstore, if you're on a budget, Walmart has the best prices on this kind of stuff, like on drugstore makeup. It's like considerably cheaper for the exact same product at Walmart than it is at a convenience store, because you're paying for the convenience factor. So just bear that in mind. Like, all this stuff was like a couple of bucks cheaper than what I saw at Walgreens. It up close is definitely giving me streaky, but we will kind of try to find its ideal coverage level. I think that that's kind of the object of the game. So I'm just gonna take like an empty brush here. This is just a Sigma brush, and just pat it. Like, would it have been probably better to use a sponge or my hands? Maybe. I just don't love getting my hands all in everything. Yeah, man, I like hardly need concealer. That's such a nice coverage level. What is the finish on this? Yes, this is a Radiant Serum Foundation. So these are really similar. They're both by L'Oreal, but this is no octinoxate. So it is oxidizing a little bit. So we're going to compensate for that with, oh my God, right? This is the Instant Age Rewind, okay, try it again. Eraser Multi-Use Concealer from Maybelline. This was such a holy grail. What is the word? It was just something that everybody couldn't shut up about like in 2014 on YouTube in the beauty space. And I got it in the shade 110 Fair, and it is very much a skin tone shade for me, not like a brightening shade. So we might have to pull something else out to compensate, or we just bronze the heck out of everything. One or the other, right? Yeah, I really feel like drugstore products, like, the prices have gone up a little bit over the years, and that can be a little bit annoying sometimes, because if you're used to using the same product that you've used for years and the price goes up, that's obnoxious. But I also feel like the new products that they're releasing are better. You know, I feel like they really are worth the money in a lot of cases. There are some, like, a lot of moving parts there though. One is a lot of them are dupes. You know, they are not kind of making their own ideas. They're following trends in the industry, and you'll notice that, like, they're intended to be drugstore dupes for other products kind of thing, which is okay. It just is what it is. You know, it's not something that's like it's almost never something that's like a totally brand new idea. All right. I'm calling that, like, so far so good. I tried to pick up a brow product, but even in the enormous selection at my local Walmart, they did not have the neutral brown shade in the Wow Brow from e.l.f., which is the one that I have been wanting to try. I tried it in taupe, and it was like too light and too warm. But what else do we have? What else do we have? Okay, so I picked up the Physicians Formula. This is the Magic Mosaic Multicolored Custom Light Bronzer. I picked this up because, you know, the holy grail in question here would be the butter bronzer, but I cannot tolerate the smell of the butter bronzer at all. And it gives me anxiety putting something that crazy fragrance on my skin, and, like, it will stink up a whole room like coconut. This doesn't smell like anything. Let's grab another fresh, clean brush. I got this in the shade Warm Beige. What did I do to this brush? She dried funny. Meow, 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 meow. What did I do? I hope I didn't mess it up. Oh well, here we go. Ooh. A little stampy. But also, I've done something very strange to this brush. I've made the shape very weird the way that it dried. That's super pretty. Normally on Mondays, guys, I am like dead on my feet and don't want to do anything, but yesterday Mike went to the marathon and he took Simon into where his parents live and he hung out with grandma and grandpa all day, and mommy got a mental health day and it was awesome. Speaking of awesome, this is actually a really nice bronzer shade. I like being able to kind of like, okay, moving on. Oh no, that was not good. Look at that. I reached up and it moved. Don't love that for me. Might have to powder it to make it stay. But yeah, Simon is a fresh handful. Like, he is so freaking funny, but he knows it. Oh. And I know that as a parent, you have to kind of put your foot down about things and like not let them get away with tantrums and stuff. But he's in the phase now where he's just starting to do it. And so we're in the phase now where we're just starting to not tolerate it. And man, we were like calling him Immobile yesterday because that video of the Immobile, the soccer player, where he like, you know, rolls over injured and then his team scores a goal and then he just like gets up as if he's miraculously healed. Like, that's Simon throwing tantrums right now. He's just like, oh my God, the sky's falling. He's learned ow, so he'll just yell ow. And then as soon as he realizes he's not getting any traction, he just like gets up and does something else. He like goes and, you know, chews on a remote. So like, that's where we're at right now. It was really nice to get just like a day to myself that wasn't like also a work day. I like really didn't know what to do with myself, to be honest. Like, at first I was just farting around in my house being like, well, I have to do so. And I just cleaned everything because I didn't know what else to do. I was like, I'm terrible at being alone and relaxing, apparently. Okay, so this is stamping off every time I touch my face. That's really, really annoying. So that foundation is a little frustrating. Okay, in terms of blush, I picked up the Maybelline Cheek Heat Fard à Jus Gel Creme. I'm a native speaker. Say it with me, everyone. MILANI Luminoso. I picked that up because I had to. You have to. I also got an Almei blush over here. This is in Nearly Nude. This is kind of a bridging the gap between bronzer and blush type shade. So I'll do this one next. And those are all that I picked up. So I don't know why I acted like that wasn't the end of that sentence. So I'm gonna take that same brush. This is a little bit like luminous, which is nice. It's got a little bit of like a satin reflection to it. It's not super matte. And I used this one yesterday. I like it a lot. It's very, very, very sheer. So it's like you don't end up with like highlightery shimmer on your face and you don't end up getting yourself in over your head really fast. I didn't pick up a setting powder because I didn't think I was going to need to, but then when I decided to go with the second foundation, I probably should have, because everything is feeling still really tacky, which is annoying. So I probably will. In fact, I definitely will. I'm gonna go ahead and use a little bit of the Kosas powder. MILANI Luminoso, it's everybody's favorite blush. Although I say that and someone's gonna be like, it's way too shiny, it looks stupid on me, or like it's ashy on my skin tone, which it probably is ashy on a lot of people's skin tones. So it is the white girl holy grail. It is so good though. Oh my gosh. Forgot how good that is. So I'm gonna let all that like chill for a second, and then I'll go in with the Cheek Heat at the end. It's just a really pretty gel color, and we'll see if I can do all the rest of it without disrupting it, you know, just kind of get that skin finish. But I have found lately, and I know that this is not news to anybody, not even me, but still, that especially with my winter dry skin, my makeup looks better after about an hour, and it looks better even like by the minute getting up to that point. And then it stays nice, but I really don't trust what I see in the mirror for the first like 30 minutes after I put my makeup on, because I'm always like, oh my God, I look like the Mojave Desert. It is not good. You know, it's not what I want my skin to look like, but then it looks fine. So yeah, we will withhold judgment for the moment, but I do like the way everything went on. I just don't like the tackiness of that foundation kind of sticking around. All right, the eye category is very exciting for me. So I went in search of these, but that is why I ended up going to Walmart, because they didn't have these specifically at Walgreens. And so I ended up picking up these, which I have already had a chance to try. So this is the Revlon Colorstay in chocolate and praline. And those colors are frankly like beyond gorgeous. Why does my camera, those look like eyeballs. It's a face, camera, come on. Okay, let's do that. Does that work? What if I just put them right here? Is that easier? It's obnoxious. So anyway, it's like this rosy shimmer and then a straight up like chocolate brown. But then I got these at Walmart today. These are the Infallible eyeshadows, the 24-hour eyeshadows. I got the shade Iced Latte and Amber Rush. I had Iced Latte back in the day when I was probably like in high school. And I just remember them being really, really luminous and a lot of fun to use. But I have not used them since then, so we're going to find out together. But I want to start with this one. So this is wild. This is supposedly a chocolate brown, but y'all, look at that. That is like straight up mauve. It is so purpley undertoned, and these did wear really beautifully over the day, but like that is cool, cool, cool tone. So like a very, very good way to build a believable shadow. And I found that with these, they are such a dry formula. You can pat them with your finger, but they actually do better with a brush. So I'm gonna put some on here. They actually imply that because inside the cap is, oh my gosh, just the most convenient. No, I will never use that. But it does come with its own little brush in there, like that's some kind of bonus that would convince me to buy it. Like, no thank you. Is anyone that on the go? The thing that I love about this formula, although it is quite sheer, I do think it would be a little too ashy for a lot of skin tones, but maybe that's just this shade. I really like how blurry it is. Whoa. Whoa, it makes my eyelids look like they've never even heard the word crease. You know? There's something to be said for that. And it's not the word crease. I'm gonna grab a different brush here. I'm gonna grab a BK206 and really work that in there. Really build my shape. I'm gonna get kind of an outer V going here. And the other reason that I picked up the colors that I did in the L'Oreal Infallible is because they're a little bit warmer pink. The initial makeup look that I got just from the stuff at Walgreens, it was so fair and so cool toned, like I could hardly even like see it, you know? And it also made all of my features kind of look dry and cold and small. I need a little more warmth, and you can see what I'm talking about here. Like, that's an absolutely gorgeous shade taken out of context, but within the context of everything else on my face, it just looks really, really cool toned. So the next one that I'm going in with, and this also doesn't take away from the cool toneness, but this is, like I said, Praline, and this one is shimmery, the other one isn't. Oh my gosh, you guys. This performs and looks like the most subtle luxury eyeshadow. You know how you buy, well, you know how you buy like a Tom Ford eyeshadow palette and it underperforms? I'm, you know, foreshadowing. But a lot of times what you end up with is actually like these extremely finely milled, very, very subtle shadows that when you're putting them on, you're like, where are they? But as soon as you like see, you back away and you see it, you're like, whoa. It didn't just add color, it added like this really gorgeous blurred texture. And to me, that's what these do. This is like just such a believable highlight kind of thing because there's no glitter to it. It is just this really fine, blurring satin shimmer. Oh my God, it's so pretty. And it does have a touch of coverage, so it like helps with my veins a little bit. Whoa. Oh no. Well, there go my brushes. While these are extremely subtle, they are so impressive. Like there is just some, like once you adjust your expectations to the fact that it's not going to like, it's not going to be one of those like NYX cream shadows that steals the show. It's like main character energy. This is so wearable, and I would love to own this formula in like some warmer shades as well, because they could be like ideal one and done shadows. You know what they remind me of? They remind me of the Charlotte Tilbury Eyes to Mesmerize, because the finish, once it actually spreads out on your eyes, is almost undetectable other than just being like improved. Ooh, I'm so excited. Okay, we're gonna open these guys up. This is Amber Rush. And this is Iced Latte. And I'm just really hoping that this pulls it towards like a warmer pink energy. And I might even pull a little bit of my blush into my look. Or even the bronzer. The bronzer's pretty warm too. That is nice. I think I am completely covering up what I did before, but that means you guys get to see two eye looks today. Wow. Yep. That's a beautiful eyeshadow. It really is. Let's see if it picks up on a brush. It is quite a creamy feeling shadow. I have to think what I would compare it to. It's like a more finely milled version of the Victoria Beckham Lid Luster, or a less chromy version, like just a satin version of the Illamasqua, because the Illamasqua is like straight up chrome. This is not as glittery, but it's that velvety feeling. Ooh la la. Say ooh la la. My battery's gonna die any second. All right, let's grab a different brush, something tiny, and we will go in with Iced Latte here. This was the one, like I said, this was the one I owned before. All right, Khaki, calm down. Yeah. You know, is it packing that like photographable punch? Not necessarily. It's not giving me something that, okay, well that's a little bit, that's a lot. That's good. I like that. But it's not kind of giving me that like wha-pow highlighter effect, which is actually fine. It's just about kind of knowing what you want. It doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad thing. It's just, you have to set your expectations accordingly. All right, since my camera's about to die and my nose is about to run off my face, I am going to do my brows, and I will come right back and we will finish this up because I couldn't find a brow product there. Alrighty guys, so I put on some brows, I put on some eyeliner, none of those being drugstore. I've used Kosas and then just my Thrive eyeliner. It's not eyeliner, it's eyeshadow. And I ended up going in with a little bit more chocolate in the Revlon Colorstay and brought the outer V back, because that was the whole point of it, was to have that like cool toned illusion in the socket, and it worked beautifully on top. Not with the included brush. I wouldn't advise attempting that. I would rather use my pinky than that little brush, but it worked beautifully on like a regular BK brush. So that's what the eye look looks like. I, in hindsight, would have done the Infallible first and then gone in with the Revlon, just because that was how I ended up doing it. Now, some people are like, oh my God, yeah! Because this is the L'Oreal Double Extend Beauty Tubes mascara, and some people are like, what are you talking about? So I have been asked for years and years and years to try this, because you guys know that I love a tubing mascara, and I had never tried the, L'Oreal drugstore version of it. Can I just say how offended I am by this packaging? Like, I try not to be too much of a snob about this kind of thing, because that's one of the things that you're technically paying for at, a prestige or like luxury price point. And for a lot of people, that's just quite silly. No one else sees your makeup collection but you. If you don't care about what it feels like to interact with it, then why pay for it, kind of thing. That said, this looks like a suppository. Like, it's just, it looks like, and I know why it looks like this, it looks like they haven't changed it since 1991. Like, they didn't even try. That's my piece on this. But anyway, the one end opens up and it's got a primer on it. I do not know which part does the tubing, so we're going to use both. And then this is the regular black mascara. They have black, and then they also have blackest black. They might have had brown, but they didn't have it at Walgreens where I got this. So we're gonna start with the Nourishing Primer, which honestly is like a thrill for me, because it just makes me feel like Bjork. Some kind of Y2K thing. It's making me feel all that energy back when, yes, we wore white eyeliner. I was 13 when the year turned to 2000. I was right in the thick of butterfly clips and bubble furniture. Claire's afterthoughts. Second holes in my ears were definitely an afterthought because they're so uneven. Anyway, okay, we're gonna let that do its thing for a second and just like dry, I guess. And then I'm gonna do a little bit of brow mousse. Gonna use my Kosas Air Brow, medium brown. Kind of wild. I know that I haven't had visible highlights in a long time, but yesterday I officially cut off every single bit of remaining blonde dead ends in my hair, and I'm officially whatever this color is now. I guess it's a brunette. It's when I bought hair extensions, they called it chestnut brown. I have no freaking clue. It's looking a little ashy though at the moment because I've still got some dry shampoo dust in there. Fascinating to see what I'm going to look like when I start going gray. I don't hate it. All right, let's go in with some faux sills over here. Black, oh, I got blackest black. Well, we're all about to see what their definition of blackest black is. Wow, that's really annoying to put that on top of the primer. Ugh, I don't like the way that that feels. I have already worn this once, and I will confirm it does tube very effectively. So it's a very, very satisfying formula in that sense. And it is lighter weight. Maybe because you do the primer first, so it might, you know, hold the curl better. You tell me, but the thing that it does do, I feel like, is lengthen and separate. It's not giving me a whole lot of volume, but it's also a brand new tube. Okay, so it feels weird when I'm used to using Thrive, you know, where I just do like one coat, wait 3 seconds, do another coat, and that's it. It feels weird to wait for something to completely dry and then work on top of it because it feels like you're just going and your like lashes are resisting, but it's quite pretty. I don't love how it wants to kind of clump on the ends. I can tolerate clumping on the ends if everything else is a little bit more clumpy, but this is so lengthening that you can really see any clumping. It's definitely very black. I don't know why I bought blackest black instead of just regular black, because black mascara looks a little bit alarming on me. I mean, if your eyes are trained to pay attention to stuff like that, it's just really bold compared to everything else on my face. But that's okay, because we're gonna put on more blush and we're gonna put on a lip. So let's start with more blush. This is the Cheek Heat. I picked this up in the shade 15 Nude Burn, because if I am nude, I will burn in the sun. And this is just, what a pretty color. What a pretty, pretty color. But it's this funky gel weight texture that I feel like spreads out really, really easily on the skin. I actually used this to put it on yesterday, and I will do that again. You can see it in there. This is one of the Beauty Pie brushes. Beauty Pie Seamless Foundation Buffing Brush. Very soft, just very pleasant brush. And this is a pretty wet formula. And so I find that soaking it up a little bit with the brush helps a lot so that it doesn't push my makeup around. Yes, we know that you're here, okay? Calm down. But it does a really good job on top of powder and stuff because, you know, as long as you're dabbing it, I wouldn't wipe it, but I feel like it soaks in really quickly. Isn't that nice? And the little bit of luminosity that's in this gel texture just leaves such a pretty finish on your skin that's better than the powder. And I like the color a lot. In fact, I found myself at Walmart today, like with a couple more of these in my hand because I was like, I like that formula so much, I want more of them. And I was like, well, I need to really like mix it up, you know, not use 5 of the same formula kind of thing. But this is such an easy formula to work with. I would definitely own all the colors. So easy to control because of the size of this brush, but also because the pigmentation is not overwhelming. I would pick up this formula before I would pick up cloud paint, just because it's just so much easier to work with. And it really does kind of look like a sunburn, doesn't it? I mean, yeah, I brought it up underneath my eyes. That's probably why. I'm gonna touch up a little bit of that in a second. Everything is soaking up quite a bit because I did have to powder so much. So that's why like that line is quite exaggerated, but we will fix that. So of what I squirted on my hand to show you guys the color, that's the amount that I used and that's the amount that I had left over. It does go a long way and wow, it's so freaking pretty. Whoa, she stains. She stains, she stains. Yes, she does. Okay, and finally, last but not least, I picked up 2 of these. I picked up one yesterday, day before yesterday, and one today, and these are the lifter glosses from Maybelline. I heard so much about these, mainly from State of Kate, but I also think Shelby Wilson talked about them quite a bit. And they're just supposed to be really beautiful, plumping, hyaluronic acid infused lip glosses, you know, at the drugstore. So I initially picked up the shade Ice, and while I really enjoy the formula, this is definitely like not a lot of presence, and I want a little bit of presence on my lips for this look because everything is kind of so washed out, everything's so fair. So I did pick up a pigmented one. So I'll show you guys what I'm talking about here because it's just a gloss, but they do have a clear, and this one is even icier than a clear. Do you see what I mean? Like, it kind of makes my lips disappear. I would want to use, I don't know, I guess a lip liner with it, but I'm gonna see what this one looks like without a lip liner. So this is the shade Stone, and in contrast to all the other ones, it looked like just a really nice, cool rose that leaned slightly lavender. We'll see. Just beige, maybe. Yeah. Everything goes warm on me, but what a pretty color, oh my God. Uh-huh. That went according to plan. That's nice. So that's really, really nourishing feeling. It does stay put, it does have color payoff, and it is plumping, and it's just kind of everything that I love in a lip gloss. It's real nice. Like, another one that I would own a lot of. All right, I'm going to move you guys out and I'm gonna give you my final thoughts on all the products that we talked about today. Actually, first I'm gonna do this, because I'm impatient. I don't want to wait an hour for my skin to look better. Okay, so speaking of the two foundations that we talked about today, I will use this in another video. Actually, I realized how unhelpful it is if I don't show this to you in this video, and I also have no chill. So I went ahead and redid this face of makeup, basically all the same products, just with this foundation instead, the True Match Lumi, just so that you guys could see exactly what I'm talking about. And it is so moisturizing, hydrating, and comfortable to wear. It is the right coverage level. It is dewy without feeling heavy. I want to show like some close-ups here of before I got the rest of my makeup on, and then now with the rest of my makeup on with a setting spray. And I said it takes an hour for me to like my makeup. I like this instantly. So there you go. I really, really like it. I do. It really met and exceeded all the expectations that I had as far as its appearance and how it wore yesterday when I wore it. But the True Match Lumi, it has octinoxate in it. You know, let's all lobby L'Oreal, take out the octinoxate, go for the octocrylene homosalate octisalate combo. While this is very pretty, it was a little finicky. It was a little frustrating. All right, I apologize for the garbage lighting in this shot because the sun sets at like 11 a.m. here, but I decided to give the foundation another shot without any primer underneath it because it occurred to me that maybe it was picking up so easily because of that slippy primer that I put under it, but no. Unfortunately, it still just comes right off as soon as you barely touch it with your finger, so that is at least confirmation of everything else I'm going to say later in the video. So there you go. Now that I powdered it, totally fine, but it just doesn't have the flexibility, and so if you are not in any way allergic to octinoxate, this is so great. It is so great. Now, the Maybelline Instant Age Rewind Eraser Multi-Use Concealer. This stacked up to my original expectations wholeheartedly. It goes on and it just does its job and doesn't complain. And there's something so glorious about a concealer like that, especially because I feel like for the longest time, concealers like just disappointed me across the board. I would have like one that I used, everything else in my routine would circulate and I'd be constantly finding things I liked. And I would just always come back to like one or two different concealers because they just are so, it's so hard to find a good concealer sometimes, but this is so lightweight and it really does the job. I like it very much. They have a few different kinds of formulas in this, like a brightener and stuff like that, but this is just the OG, and again, I have it in 110 Fair. The bronzer from Physicians Formula, I'm just so glad that they have one that doesn't smell like a pina colada, because if you've ever had the butter bronzer, if you like it, you like it, but regardless, you have to admit that it makes everything in its vicinity smell like that. that. So this doesn't have any scent. It also has just this super soft, finely milled texture. It feels velvety when you touch it, and it goes on really evenly and it blends really well. It's not like a mineral, they don't make the claim that it's a mineral formula, but it feels like a mineral formula, and it has that kind of mineral shift to it without being shimmery at all. And honestly, I feel like that's the overall effect of this entire look, was that everything was either slightly mineral reflective or blurring. And there's just, everything came together in a way that's so pleasant. Like, I don't mean to in any way bury the lead here. Like, I love this makeup look. I love it. Okay, and the next cheek thing, this one does have a little more luminosity to it. This is the Almei Healthy Hue Blush in Nearly Nude, and it is just this perfect, like, rosy tan, you know, and it does have a little bit more of like a satiny finish to it, like a little tiny bit of a shift. I like this so much. This is like sneaky good. And you know, yeah, there's a little bit of plastic in here and there is a magnet, but cardboard. Something that should be happening more often. MILANI Luminoso. Still in the same package that it's been in forever. This is definitely like almost highlighter level shimmery, especially for me, someone who has kind of fallen out of love with, you know, traditional highlighters lately. But such a beautiful, especially, I want to go ahead and offer this as an option, because there are a lot of people who are like, really, Khaki, in order to achieve your looks, I need to buy and use and wear, you know, like 5 blushes at any given time. When they're drugstore price, wow, that sure makes things a lot easier, doesn't it? So this is much the pop of color peachy apricot shade that does have a little bit more of like a highlighter effect to it, and it still stacks up to all of my previous expectations. And then finally, so this is the Maybelline Cheek Heat. I want all the colors of this. I genuinely am really, like, if this were in a prestige package at Sephora, I would believe you. It's innovative, it's different. It's gel texture. It's a fun, and a lot of these gel texture ones at the drugstore are really low pigment and they're runny, and they'll make your makeup all weird, and they just don't want to participate. They don't know how to like play well with everybody else. This is so agreeable. This is such a sneaky little formula. It's cool. And it packs just the right amount of pigment as like that perfect topper for making your powdered look like skin again, in that, like, you know, you're not necessarily relying on reflective, refractive pigment in order to get a highlighted effect, because you actually catch the light, because your skin has a little bit more of like a dewy effect to it, but it's not tacky. This is the truth, guys. These are really, really good. I'm super impressed with these. The Revlon Colorstay cream eyeshadows. You guys got to see the matte and the shimmer. If I got more of these, I'd want to get warmer colors. They both ended up being quite cool toned once they actually got on my skin, but used with other things, they really, really knocked it out of the park. You know, once I got my head around that, because this makes an amazing, like I said, like crease shade, so agreeable with other products. And the blur, fam, the blur. I can't believe how blurring these are. I put these on and I was like, wait a second, are my eyeballs 20 years old again? Because it just smoothed everything out, and I was like, I don't look like I haven't tweezed my eyebrows. I don't look crepey. I don't look like my skin is dry. It just did such a smoothing, magical thing on my eyes. And so that is the reason that I would recommend these. I do have one final like thesis thought on all of this stuff though, so like tune in, stay till the end. Now, these being ones that were in my routine before, did they stack up? They do. They're not as like crazy blinding luminous as I expected them to be, just because I have been using so many products like this, but I think you can build them up and get the foil finish from them, and they are in absolutely gorgeous colors, and they're super versatile. I was able to get this extremely wearable eye look that is not disappearing, and it's super duper beginner friendly. So I think that these are absolutely lovely. They come in just a bunch of tones that are very skin friendly. Various browns and taupes and pearls and purples and greens and things like that. And I just think that these are, you know, there's a reason that these have stuck around so long. And again, I got the shades Ice Latte and Amber Rush. Big fan of these. The Lifter Gloss. Yes, please. Yes, all the way. They come in the, you know, just regular pigment formulas, and they come in like shimmerier formulas. and they're all in really gorgeous shades. I think that they are mainly, you know, like a wash of color type lip gloss. None of them is going to be like crazy, crazy pigmented, and that's awesome. That means pretty much anybody can wear pretty much any shade, which is a lot of fun. These are like an equal opportunity plumping gloss, and I think that they're absolutely gorgeous. And the packaging, like, okay, Maybelline. And is there anything else? Oh, the mascara. For all of those who have been really wanting to try a tubing formula, and I have only ever offered you $24 to $29 tubing mascara formulas. This one is not that expensive. I think it's like 10 bucks or something like that. I don't know, but it is drugstore priced, and it does do a really great job of being long wearing and washing off in tubes and doing the job. Plus it's going to hold a curl puff better, probably better than the ones that I typically use. And my thesis statement that I alluded to earlier has to do with revisiting the drugstore. I think that if you're used to watching YouTube, you're used to watching people get frustrated by things that don't have a lot of pigment to them, because what am I paying for if it's not pigment? What am I paying for if it's not color payoff? But in the drugstore, I mean, granted, you could argue you're not really paying as much for it, so there's that. But also, if you aren't someone who is like applying makeup for a living, this is gonna be a much more comfort zone kind of place to play. Like, maybe you don't want your makeup to make a statement, you just want to look pretty, and you want something that's reliable and it's going to wear all day. Granted, you can get rainbow palettes at the drugstore, at the, you know, drugstore end of Ulta or the NYX stand, whatever. There are lots and lots of affordable ways to get bright colors too. But I guess what I'm saying is, like, the formulas here and the shades, while it's easy to write them off like, oh, that's not very pigmented, it's kind of the point, you know? And you get something that's just so stinking effortless looking and pretty. So yeah, again, I don't think it's any secret here. I really, really like this face of makeup. Even though this foundation is not like my favorite thing in the world, it was a little bit finicky, I still love this result. So yeah, I hope that this was fun for you guys to have a break from all of the crazy sky-high prices, get our feet back firmly on the ground, and remember that there is plenty to be had at the drugstore, and a lot of it's really, really pretty. So yeah, also, everything that I used to love and had built up in my, you know, memory of my expectations still stood up to those memories of expectations. Like, they still were just as beautiful as I remember them being, with the exception of the fact that there's octinoxate in the L'Oreal Lumi, and that kind of drives me crazy. It's not their fault, it's my skin's fault, but the performance is still there, and that made me really happy. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Tell me other drugstore holy grails of yours that have really stood the test of time, and I will try them. So let's do that. And yeah, if this is your first time and you are not yet subscribed, hit the button down below and subscribe. We would love to have you. I have a lot of fun here. I love you guys so very, very much. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.